This piece on ESPN.com is from Adrian Wojnarowski describing what the Cavs are looking for in a potential Kyrie trade. He says, quote, a package that resembles the 2011 Denver Nuggets New York Knicks deal for Carmelo Anthony. Woj also named 6 teams who have pitched the Cavs specific trades, including the Miami Heat, although the Heat have now gone to their beat writers and specifically they've denied that report. Regardless, the Heat are in or out. Brian, what is the right value for Kyrie? And it's hard to tell, really, because we haven't seen him in this fashion without LeBron.
True. So the trade that Woj is referencing there was arrived at when the Cavs studied every star trade for the last decade. They looked at how long it took between when the player wanted out and they traded him, what kind of negotiations were, and what they got back. The problem is there's a huge difference between that Melo trade to from the Nuggets to the Knicks and this Kyrie Irving situation, and that Melo was ready as soon as he arrived in New York to sign a contract extension. Kyrie has put his list together, and if it's to a team outside that list, it's not going to come with an extension right away. So therefore, I don't know if they're going to be able to get that value. Typically in this situation, what a team like the Cavs would want is 3 things. A veteran player who's established, who they can put in right now, a prospect player, young player, what have you, and a draft pick. I think it's going to be hard for the Cavs to get all 3. The Nuggets got all 3 when they did that deal for Melo. I think it's probably going to be, 2 of the 3 at best. In this case, they got first rounds, they got swap rights, they got second round picks. They got a guy like Wilson Chandler and Felton who were established, Gallinari and Mozgov and Kufos who were upcoming.
We should point out, by the way, that this deal was considered a mugging by Masai Ujiri, who was in Denver at the time. Right. So it's not as if people around
pretty
the NBA
much got
think
him
this
the
was
Toronto
a fair
job that he had a year later.
Scotty, though, what the Cavs are basically saying is we think Kyrie is a #1 option on whatever team we trade him to. You see him also, right, as a #1 option?
I do see him as a #1 option, and I like what Brian said, is that what the Cavs are looking for is a veteran player and someone that they can put right into the lineup. But I think they've already filled that void when you put Derrick Rose in there, because he's not a guy that's going to be looking to come off the bench.
Are you okay with his health, though? You're going to make that gamble?
You know what? I am okay with Derrick Rose's health. I think in the last couple of years he's shown that, he can get back on the court and he can still perform at a high level. And I think playing with LeBron is going to give him that comfort level that he's also needed. Like Derrick Rose has never really played with a player that I could say is better than him. So the pressure's always been on him. And now I think playing with a guy like LeBron does relieve a lot of pressure off of him in terms of having to run a team.
Really pressure on your knees. I know. I was going to say, that was my next thing. We can roll that again from the control room. That, by the way, was a video of what Kyrie at his old high school in New Jersey. Yeah. I like that got kind of put out. We showed you the photos being put out from the LeBron workout. Now, Kyrie, there's some video that just happens to make its way onto the internet of him schooling people at his old gym in New Jersey.
High school kids.
I know, but it's still fun.
He's an all-star player.
I'm having fun watching this. I'm okay with that.
Scotty, you really are a supporter. I don't want to say it too strongly, but I feel like you're a supporter of what Kyrie's doing here.
I am a very strong supporter of what he's doing, because I've watched what has happened to him in his career and how things went for him in Cleveland. And I think that he's at a superstar level now that he can control his own destiny. And I think a lot of players in our game have that opportunity to do that, and they don't take advantage of it. And I think this is the opportunity. It's perfect timing. Cleveland didn't win the championship. They were right there. But there's been a lot of things going on within that organization that LeBron doesn't give those guys the security that they need, that the superstar is going to be there and he's going to support us. And I see Kyrie looking at the opportunity to run before LeBron run, because there's a lot of chatter out there that LeBron is coming to play with the Lakers.
I mean, if you split from playing with MJ when you were later in your career, things were different for you injury-wise. If you had done that maybe halfway through your run with the Bulls, do you think your career would have been very different?
It would have been different.
And good or
probably
bad?
Wouldn't have won as many championships, so that would have been the bad part of it. But from an individual standpoint, from a personal standpoint, it would have been better for me, financially and as an individual player, because I would have been able to do more on the court.
When you were named in the top 50 all time, though, that was a humongous validation of your stardom.
Exactly.
If I don't know if Kyrie is that kind of cachet, the same that you had. I don't know if when we expand to 75, I don't think he's making that list. I think that's a factor here. It's a kind way of me saying Kyrie's no Scottie Pippen. That's me circling around.
I appreciate that.
Wow.
Good man.
I mean, who is really? But
well, that's true.
There you go.